Hi guys! Welcome back to my hair tutorial series, Hair Throughout History. Today we'll be looking at a few different hairstyles from the Hellenistic period of ancient Greece. Hair was actually so important back then that it's a really interesting time period to look at and see what women did with their hair and why. Back then, hair could act as a form of personal expression like it does now, but it could also give a lot of different social cues such as age, social position, occupation, and even marital status for women, which is a lot, if you're asking me. And barbershops were also believed to have originated in ancient Greece, and men would socialize and exchange all the different news about politics, sports, philosophy, gossip, all while getting their hair cut. So whether you're going to the Agora or to a toga party, I'm going to show you some of these Hellenistic-inspired hairstyles that are sure to turn some heads. Okay, so to get started, first I'm going to show you a simple Greek classic, the Xinyang bun, which is going to be tied just at the back of the neck, kind of back here, and this dates back to a really early ancient Greece. We're talking like 5000 BCE because it's just so simple and it's really functional. It was commonly used by middle or lower class women who were doing some sort of work just to get their hair out of the face. Really easy, takes no time at all. So let's do that one first. Okay, so to start this one, you're simply gonna bring all the hair back to the back of the head, smooth it out. If you want any hair pieces coming down to the front, do that, but it's all going to smooth out and just collect it into one big piece at the bottom of the neck, and you're going to slowly start twisting it into a coil, just all the hair at once. And as you continue to wrap that, coil it up, and then get the coil to go as far as you can, and then wrap it up into a bun, and you're going to take your hair tie, just keep it together. And then I like using some pins to keep it in place, especially when you have a lot of thick hair, like my model does. So just go ahead and put pins in, however needed, just to get the bun to kind of stay at the back of the head. There you go. Very simple, very easy. Gets the hair out of the face, pulls it back, just in a very simple, very easy, classy style. Okay, so that bun was really simple, right? Very easy, very functional. Gets the hair out of the face. You can add some curls in the front if you want to make it look a little nicer. It's really common in the Hellenistic period. But also, so that was really common in early ancient Greece, and as time progressed throughout history, as you got more towards the Hellenistic period, it became really popular for girls and women to add decoration to their hair, whether it be an ornament or like a headband or a diadem. Something like that was really common to be added to hair. So I'm going to show an example of another bun that then I add some ribbon to it. A lot of other forms of decorations and ornaments were added back in the Hellenistic period. So here's that. Okay, so again, this one's going to start off pretty similar to the last one. So we're going to just gather the hair back. You can start with the middle part, or you can just bring it all back. But you're going to gather all the hair at the back of the head. And you're going to slowly start to twist it into a coil. And then we're going to take that coil and wrap it up into a bun. It's kind of like a coil of coil. Take the ends of the hair that are coming out of that bun, and we're going to pin them just to kind of keep the bun in place so that it stays to the back of the head. Okay, so make sure you have the ribbon centered in your hands. You want the center of the ribbon to be at the back of the head. It might slip up a little bit, that's okay. Maybe have your hair model hold the ribbon. That was the best to keep it in place so they don't have a lot of thick hair. And then I'm just going to simply take it and then tie it around the bun. I took a pin to hold the ends of the ribbon onto the bottom side of the bun. And then took some more pins and kind of put those in place on the side of the head just to keep the ribbon from sliding back over the top of the head. So there you have it, very simple. Just add a little bit of color to the head. Back in the Hellenistic period, they would have a lot of other things. You could have pins that had jewels on it. You could have diadems or headbands that could be made from a lot of different materials, such as metal, wood, ceramic, or woven fabric. So a lot of different options. You don't just have to use a red ribbon. Obviously, if you're more higher up in social status, you would have a lot more fancier things with real jewels, other precious metals, and things like that. But just for a little bit more time, it's just a good example of what women would do in the Hellenistic period if they had a lot more time to devote to their hair, which actually correlated really well with their status in society. So if you were the wife of a really important man in, say, Athens or some other Greek city, then you would obviously have more time to not work and to have other people like slaves or servants do your hair for you. Okay, and if you have a little more time, here's another example of not a bun, but this time we're going to do some wrapping hair around the head. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so this one takes a little more time. This is the headband that I have. It's just some pearls and some little diamonds and stones on it just to add some pretty colors and some shine to the hair. It makes it a little flashy. May not be super accurate compared to what they had in ancient Greece, but it kind of gets the point across that diadems are really popular to add to hair that definitely had jewels and a lot of pretty metals on them. Okay, so to start, put the headband on, and then I put the side that I'm not starting on, I put a pin just to help hold the headband in place, make sure it doesn't fall off. Then you're going to start by grabbing a piece of hair closest to the face, and then just wrap it through the headband. And we're going to grab another piece of hair. Again, try and get as much as closest to the face, to the front of the head, and then pull the headband up and wrap it under and pull it through. And then we're going to continue to do the same thing pretty much down the whole side of the head. So this one takes a little more time, and it's really hard to do on your own since you can't see the back of your head. So this would probably be done by more higher class women who had slaves or servants do their own hair, which actually is really interesting because slaves and servants, you can kind of tell who they were because they tended to have short hair, just kept it cut really short so they didn't really have to do anything with it. They wouldn't even have it in buns or anything, like we saw in the first example I gave you. Yeah, so you're going to continue to pull the hair, and you can kind of see the different layers from the different number of times the hair has been wrapped around the headband. The smaller pieces you do, the more times you'll see these little wraps, but the thicker the hair, the more times you'll want to wrap it around the headbands. And then I went ahead and did the same thing on the other side. So again, grab hair closest to the front of the head and slowly start wrapping it pieces by pieces around. And fun fact, since my friend has really pretty red hair, obviously if you think of Greece, you're probably thinking of people who have like darker hair, really curly hair, whether it's black or brown. If you think of Aphrodite or Helena Troy, they're kind of like the Greek standards of beauty, and they're both blonde. So a lot of Greek women actually tried to dye their hair. Again, this kind of correlated with status. So the higher up in class you were, the more chance you had of doing this, the more money you had to do this. But there were actually a couple different ways that women could dye their hair, or they would just wear wigs. If they could do that too. There were different colors. They could color their hair with things like ash or henna or colored wax. But to get that like blonde sort of hair ideal, they would bleach their hair with vinegar, or my personal favorite, which I don't recommend, they would use urine to bleach their own hair. So let's not do that. Luckily. So once you have both sides wrapped around, I like to just try and add a few more wraps in the middle, just because, especially when you have really thick hair like this, it helps just to get more of it up as possible to help with getting the rest of the hair at the end all the way in. So then once you have all the wraps you want, I again went into a coil, pretty common pattern if you haven't seen, and then take that and you want to push it up and under the kind of wraps that you've made through the headband. So then take some pins to kind of keep that in place. And the ancient Greeks did have pins, combs, and a lot of different hair ornaments have all been found in ancient Greek ruins, so we know they had pins to kind of help hold their hair up. So I'm doing nothing special with those. Yeah. So then I just use those pins to kind of secure the flipped over hair to the back of the head to make sure that it stayed up. But for the most part, all you see is the pieces that have been wrapped around the headband, which adds just a really pretty, I think. And then the front, you can see the headband, just add some sparkle and something else to it. But then the back. For a lot of these, I'm using pins to keep the hair together, but back in ancient Greece, a lot of the time they would use beeswax just to kind of keep hair and hold it together, so it's what we would use as hairspray nowadays. Okay, and the last hairstyle I'm going to show you is taken directly from a bust of Aphrodite, so you know it's definitely very ancient Greek. The bust is about Hellenistic period, so it's really interesting to see what they did with their hair back then, and we know it's pretty authentic. So pretty much there's like two buns up here, another bun back here, which at first I thought looked kind of weird, but then when I actually did it, it looks kind of cool. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like, and you can decide for yourself how ancient Greek you want to do your hair. And if you're wondering why I'm really showing you only updos, it's because in ancient Greece, since hairstyle could convey marital status, if you're married, you tended to have your hair up. So young unmarried women would wear their hair down and kind of natural and loose like mine is now. But once a woman was married, having their hair up was just what was commonly done. Okay, I used to comb and kind of peeled off the front area of hair. I did that on both sides and just kind of brought it forward so it was out of the way and so you could see a part. And then at the very top of the head, I took a small segment of hair and kind of pulled that out from the rest of it. Gathered it up, combed it so it's together. Then we're going to do back to the usual, coil that up, and we're pretty much going to do just a tiny little bun right there, kind of in the middle back of the head, just slightly off to the side. So coil that up, not completely though, you don't want all the hair to be in a bun. So I left about 6 inches of her hair to fall back so we could go into the rest of the hairstyle. And then took some pins just to kind of hold that bun in place, top of her head. And then did the same thing on the other side. So gathered hair and then coiled it up, leaving about a couple inches at the bottom of the hair. That way it can go into the bun that we're going to do at the bottom. And we're going to wrap it up and pin it into a bun at the other side of the top of the head. And not only did ancient Greek women dye their hair, but they also took really good care of it. They used olive oil as conditioner because in ancient Greece there's olive oil for everything, am I right? But then other preparations could be made from spices and other fragrant oils. So at least we know their hair's real nice and it's probably very soft and very shiny and oily. So those are your 2 little buns in the front. And then we're going to take hair that we took from the front on the side. And now we're going to kind of take that and twist it down to the back. So you might need to have whoever's hair you're doing hold it for a little bit in a second. So start at the very top of the head. We're just going to twist down, grabbing more hair as you go. Making sure you grab the hair that's from the top bun. And then when you get about halfway to the back of the head, maybe have client, whoever, hold the hair. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So you're just going to twist the hair starting at the top of the head, down the side past the ears, and bring it all the way back. And then you're going to get those 2 sides. You're going to coil them together. And then we're going to bring that into a bun, very similar to the first hairstyle, just at the bottom of the neck. Making sure to kind of gather all the hair so it's nice and tight. And then take pins just to hold the loose end of the hair. Pin it up to the head. And then my friend here has kind of thin hair, so some hair is sticking out. So if you want to add some pins to get that hair that's a little loose at the bottom, you can go ahead and do that. There you go. And there you go. You are a real life Aphrodite. Okay, well that's all I have for you. 4 ancient Greek hairstyles, pretty Hellenistic inspired, although the first ones, the simple buns, kind of were very simple early on in ancient Greece and then kind of progressed into the Hellenistic period where it was really common to see a lot of extra things added to the hair, where curls were more common. especially things like ribbon or metal or diadems or headbands or anything like that add to the hair. Very Hellenistic. Very common to see a lot more intricate things done. Next week, I'll tackle ancient Rome, where they pretty much took the ancient Greek hairstyles and made them even more crazier. They would sew hair together. They would kind of make like a foot tall mosh of braids on top of the head. So get excited for that next week and have fun with these ancient Greek hairstyles. I'll see you soon on the Agora. Okay, bye.